Hi guys, Eclectic Impromptus. I hope you're having a good Thursday. It's nice and sunny out, but it's cold. It's like I think the high is only supposed to be like 40 degrees today, but could be worse. So normally on Thursdays I've been doing the grow, change, evolve, and recounting, past stuff, when I was a lot younger and lessons learned and all that. Um, Being 20 and the first part of being 21, there's been a few tough. It might be a little bit of a tough subject right now, so I kind of need to mentally prepare myself and you know just mentally prepare myself, and I kind of need a little break. Plus, next week's Thanksgiving, so there's that. And I kind of have something else in mind for Thanksgiving, so I'll probably resume after Thanksgiving break, and um, we'll see what happens from there. And hopefully, I'll be a little more prepared in general with that. Some tough stuff, back at that age, but there was good stuff too, of course. And I'll definitely be sure to share some of that as well. But another factor as to why I kind of need to take a little break. This is a little more on a positive note. I've come across a few interesting subjects, and I kind of had an interesting dream, so I'm going to cover that in today's video, actually. So, for starters, the dream I had, I was back in my hometown, Spokane, in the childhood neighborhood, East Central, and I was back at my old house. I kind of like having those dreams. There's something nostalgic about it. I kind of like it. I kind of miss living in Spokane and get those moments, but for the most part, it's kind of, it's kind of nostalgic and kind of cool, and it's kind of like you always have the memories. And I also dreamt my dad was in the dream. And I also had a female roommate who had a boyfriend. He too was a roommate. And all four of us were living in my childhood home. And at the same time, I had just recently, in the dream, relocated back to Spokane, back to my childhood home. And I was also wanting to videotape scenes of my childhood neighborhood. And there was two parks that I went to as a little kid also. Riverfront Park, that's located in downtown Spokane, and Spokane River rushes right through it and stuff. And Manitou Park was another childhood park I used to go to. That's located on South Hill. I think it's like on the west end of Spokane, I want to say, but don't quote me on that. It's been like 20, if not 30 some years since I was last at Manitou Park. So in the dream, I wanted to videotape these places. My dad was understanding about it. My roommate and her boyfriend, it's not that they weren't understanding, it's just they didn't realize I needed time for myself to do these projects and stuff. And eventually came to realize, oh yeah, sorry, our bad. You go have fun, take care of yourself, enjoy your hobbies, so on and so forth. So I was driving around East Central and realized I had to go to work. And then the reef was also in the dream, the building, my coworkers and all that. And that also was in the East Central part of town, or East Central neighborhood, I mean. And here I am driving around East Central, videotaping to my heart's content, and then realized I had to be at work and was late, but I never got a phone call. But I ended up showing up and everything seemed to be fine, and then I woke up. So after waking up, I was pondering about this dream and thought it was a cool dream. And I think the dream represents balance. You need time with people, sure, there's that. And, you have your commitments, whether it's school, work, family, church, whatever. But you also need time for yourself. And I think that's what the dream is saying. I'm really articulate right now. I tend to say yes to a lot of stuff, and sometimes get overcommitted. And I need to realize I also need time for myself, to whether it's to do YouTube, work on some art, writing, listen to music, whatever it is I need to do, or work on reading a book or something. I need some me time and relaxation time. Most of the people in my life are pretty good about that, fortunately, but it's easy to take on a little too much, and then then you got to realize you need to set boundaries and say, no, I need time for myself. You don't have to go in specifics necessarily, but it's good to say no when you need to, if you need downtime for yourself. And I'm fortunate and blessed to have a lot of people in my life that are understanding like that. So that's cool. But as the morning progressed, I was thinking about the Pleiades, if that's how you pronounce it. It's these cluster of stars in the sky I've been hearing about lately. Yeah, I watch stuff on sacred geometry, astrotheology, and the Pleiades get mentioned at times. And last night I saw this program. It's under the YouTube subscriber named After School. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but After and then School. It's spelled as Skool. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of it. So I saw something about Halloween and the origins and the Pleiades. I think that's how you pronounce it. I get that mixed up a lot. Bear with me on that, please. that that constellation has gotten mentioned, and it's under the Taurus section. I can't remember the name of it. I'm still kind of new to that, but it gets mentioned. Point being, and that's been crossing my mind a lot this morning. In addition, there was something else that was crossed my mind, but the Pleiades was definitely. Oh, that I remember now. In addition to the Pleiades and this, interesting dream I had, I also saw a Google article called "Career Minimalism." So basically, it's like it enforces work-life balance, so you can have time to do like what you're passionate about, but you're still able to work and make enough for sustaining factors. Like, you still have your basic needs met, but you can pursue other interests as well and be given the time for that. So I think that's kind of a cool concept. And apparently people from the Generation Z, it's becoming kind of the trend nowadays. So some more research to do on that. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, some interesting subjects, and did some reading, did a little bit of writing, and I'm working on an art project, so this should be kind of an interesting. It'll be some interesting art projects. It's not just a simple one drawing or one painting. It's kind of, I want to do a multiple series on this, and I'll go in more into details at another time on this. Right now, I'm just kind of sketching things out and looking up stuff for inspiration, and see where it goes from there. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this clip, and don't forget to click like, subscribe, and share. And I'll probably come up with some video short later. We'll see what happens. But you guys take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, bye-bye.